Okay, so let's move on to the third module for our course on complex numbers. So we've learned how to add, how to subtract them, and we're pretty familiar right now with I. So let's take a look at multiplying these bad boys. So let's say Z1 is equal to A plus BI. Let's say Z2 is equal to C plus DI. So I want to find Z1 multiplied by Z2. So I'm going to have is A plus BI multiplied by C plus DI. Now remember what we learned in our polynomial classes, right? What we're going to do now is we're going to take everything from the first bracket and multiply everything in the second bracket. So I'm going to have A multiplied by C. And then A multiplied by DI, which is going to be A DI. And then I'm going to have BI multiplied by C, which is going to be BCI. And then I'm going to have BI multiplied by DI, which is going to be BDI squared, because it's I times I. And of course, I know that these are like terms because they're both I's, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move to my next step, which is AC plus AD plus BC I. Now this becomes plus BD multiplied by -1. That's right. I recall that I squared is equal to -1. Okay, because the square root of -1 is equal to I. So I need to recall this, right? So now this becomes AC plus AD plus BC I minus BD. See, this is a BD times a -1, makes it a minus BD. So now this is not imaginary anymore. Okay, this is now real. So now I join it with the other real. So I have AC minus BD plus AD plus BC I. That's how I multiply these bad boys, right? Everything looks easy when I do it. Let's look at numbers and let's have you give it a shot, okay? So what if I said that Z1 was equal to 2 minus 3i, and I said that Z2 is equal to 4 plus 2i. And let's say you were instructed then to find Z1, Z2. Now what you want to do here, if you think you have it, is you want to pause the video and try it on your own. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get it started. So this is 2 minus 3i multiplied by 4 plus 2i. Gotta be careful here now. 2 times 4 is 8. Plus 2 times 2i is 4i. Minus 3i times 4 is minus 12i. This wouldn't be plus because it's a minus times a positive. So this is going to be 6i squared minus 6i squared. Okay. So now this is 8. 4i minus 12i is minus 8i. And this is minus 6 times a minus 1. Because I squared is minus 1. So this then converts this into 8 minus 8i plus 6. Hence, this is 8 plus 6 is 14 minus 8i. And again, you can factor the 2 from this if you want, okay? But this is your answer, okay? All right, so let's try another one. Let's try Z1 is equal to 2 plus I. And let's say Z2 is equal to 3 plus 4i. And you're going to be asked to do a couple things here, okay? You're going to be asked to first find Z1 multiplied by Z2. You're going to be asked to do that. And then you're also going to be asked to find Z2 squared. And then you're going to be asked to find Z1 cubed. All right, you should be able to do all of these. Okay, so let's start with the first one. All right, so the first one says Z1, which is 2 plus I, multiplied by Z2, which is 3 plus 4i. So I'm going to get 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 times 4i gives me 8i, plus I times 3 gives me 3i, plus 4i squared. So this becomes 6 plus 11i minus 4. Why did I get the minus? Because I squared is minus 1. So this becomes 6 minus 4 is 2 plus 11i. Okay, plus 11i. All right, so that's your answer for the first part. Okay. Now we're going to erase that and we're going to do part 2 of this question. Of course, remember, you can always pause and rewind the video so that isn't lost. Let's look at part 2. It says Z2 squared, which means 3 plus 4i squared. Now, what you have to remember is your polynomials, right? There are rules. There are rules that governs a plus b squared. So you can figure it out really quickly, but if you forget, that's okay. Just multiply this by itself. So you can literally just write out 3 plus 4i multiplied by 3 plus 4i and go the long way, okay? But if we didn't go the long way, what does this tell us? It says this is going to be a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, okay? So let's go with what we know. A squared. So what is a in this case? A is just your first term. So this is a. What is b? B is just your second term. That is b in this case. So a squared is 9 plus 2ab. Well, what is ab? ab is 12i. 3 times 4i is 12i, multiplied by 2 is 24i. And what is b? B is 4i. So what is b squared? It's going to be 16i squared. So this becomes 9 plus 24i minus 16, because I squared is minus 1. 9 minus 16 is minus 7. Minus 7 plus 24i is your answer. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this the long way, just to make sure we get the same answer, right? And we should. So let's just go ahead and do this. 3 plus 4i multiplied by 3 plus 4i. All right, so we're going to do this the long way. So 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4i is 12i. 4i times 3 is 12i. And 4i times 4i is 16i squared. So this is 9 plus 24i minus 16. Minus 16 because i squared is negative 1. So 9 minus 16 is minus 7 plus 24i. All right. So we could have saved time by knowing our identity. Either way, you still have to know your rules of polynomials. Because if you can't remember the identity, you have to multiply it out. Hopefully you don't make a mistake. All right. So let's try the third part. Let me just erase this. And the third part says we're going to take Z1 and cube it, which means you have 2 plus I cube. Now, at this stage, you may not have yet learned how to cube a polynomial by identity, but you know what this means. This basically means 2 plus I multiplied by 2 plus I multiplied by 2 plus I. That's what this basically means, right? And you could do this 2 ways. You could recognize then that this right here is just 2 plus I squared, for which you already know that identity, multiplied by 2 plus I. Okay, so there are multiple ways we could do this, right? So let's start this on another page. I'm going to do 2 plus I cube. All right, so 2 plus I cube is equal to 2 plus I squared multiplied by 2 plus I. And remember, A plus B squared is equal to A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. So here's this part right here. This part right here. Okay. So A is 2. So this is going to be 4. A squared. 2AB. AB is 2I. So 2 times 2I is 4I. B squared. What is B? B is I. I squared is minus 1. And then this is then multiplied by 2 plus I. So 4 minus 1 is 3 plus 4I multiplied by 2 plus I. So again, 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times I is 3I. 4I times 2 is 8I. 4I times I is 4I squared. So this becomes 6 plus 11I minus 4. Again, how do we get minus 4? Because I squared is minus 1. 6 minus 4 is 2 plus 11I. This is our answer. Okay. This is our answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save the conjugation for the next module and do that along with the modulus because they work hand in hand with each other. Okay. So that's where we'll stop for this module.